So a couple nights ago, I woke up and I found out that we gained 100 subscribers, and I was pretty happy. We exploded in views, and we got to a goal that I had set for myself, I don't know, a couple months ago, whatever, since the channel started. I decided I was going to make a 100 subscriber special, and that's what I'm going to do. Right now, when I'm recording this, we actually have 215. So we actually doubled the 100 subscriber goal. The next goal that I actually had was 500 subscribers, and I will be doing a special for that as well. But for the 100 subscriber special, I'm actually going to be making a drone for my best friend, Membo. He is a Japanese kid. I've never actually met him, but he's a great guy. And I decided I was going to make a drone based off of his character, which is Membo from his channel, Membo Animations. It's going to be a repurpose of the drone that I showed you in a past video. If you haven't seen that video, please go ahead and check it out. It is my failure projects video where I made a drone that could kind of work, but not really. So we're going to repurpose the parts, and we're going to basically make a much better version of that drone that flies and does everything. And most likely for the next special, the 500 subscriber one, or maybe the 1,000 subscriber one, we will improve the drone and maybe add a GPS, maybe add this, maybe add that, or maybe I'll do a completely different project that one of you guys recommends. I always read the comments. If you have any recommendations, please go ahead and write them down. And you know what? Maybe I'll make it. Hope you enjoy the video, and leave a like down below if you do.
Okay, so we're going to go through making the Membo statue in itself really fast. So the drone is going to be a basic drone frame that follows these colors. It's just going to be a blue, and our statue of Membo is also just going to be this blue. We'll probably paint in the eyes and paint the wings. But it seems that he's basically just a bean shape with two gigantic eyes and little twigs coming out for his arms and legs. So we're going to 3D print this and run through this really fast. And then we're going to go ahead and, for the rest of the video, and make the rest of the drone. That's basically how I'm going to chop this up, because the drone's going to be a lot harder than the statue. And the statue is going to be pretty easy to make. And it's probably going to come out looking adorable. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to be running through the Membo statue process fairly quickly. But this is basically what I designed. Two giant eyeballs, basically a bean shape. We got the wings, the hair, we have everything. It's just gonna stay kind of like this on the statue. One of the feet is just gonna be tucked in to a hole that I'm gonna put in, and maybe we'll glue it down. The statue is gonna be pretty light. It's just gonna be hollow, so it shouldn't add any weight to the drone. So this is just basically the statue. We're gonna paint in the eyes, and we're gonna probably 3D print it as a blue shape so that I won't have to paint everything. Instead of it being white, we'll just print it out as blue, and then we'll just paint white with the eyes and just do multiple layers to build that up. Moving on to the drone frame, this is a very basic frame. It's very thin. It has a lot of holes in it so that we can add in material into the future if we want to add in, let's say, a GPS module, or if we want to add in any automated flight control modules, we can do so. Right here in the center is where our CC3D flight controller is going to fit. The CC3D flight controller is not one I recommend buying. It was the one I had on my computer a long time ago. I already had the settings for it. It was also, the one that was given to me when I was in high school. So I just had all the computer files for it, and I just had everything else needed. But yeah, I would suggest not getting a CC3D flight controller because they're kind of obsolete at this point. There are a lot better flight controllers you could purchase. And right here we have our frame corner. This is where the motor and the ESC are going to sit. Now the motor and ESC are actually pretty nice. I will say that. I really do enjoy these motor brands. So yeah, so the motor will sit here. This frame I kind of copy and pasted frame design from the other drone. I just made it a lot smaller, so this drone is going to be a lot smaller than our original drone frame, which means it'll be slightly lighter and more compact. I like smaller drones. I like more compact drones. They're very good. Yeah, we're gonna build this. It's gonna be very nice. Be not afraid. Be not afraid, children. He's come to grant you unimaginable power. unimaginable power. So this thing is freaky. I mean, god damn, I load this thing up and it is just it's just evil. I'm so sorry, Membo. It's just so evil.
I got this pretty cool vibrant blue that I think is going to go really nicely for the Membo statue. I'm going to have to paint over a few spots. Well, I'm going to be getting paint anyway. We'll spray paint anyway for the drone. But I think that for the base, we can actually use his color, which is going to be this vibrant blue. I think it's going to work very nicely with what we're doing. And you know what? It'll come out pretty good. Overture, I usually use Overture for most of my 3D printing filaments because I've never had anything go wrong with Overture. They've always worked for me. So, buy Overture. Buy Overture. Yes, please. This is not sponsored. I do not have any monetization abilities, so of course I wouldn't be sponsored. But if they want to sponsor me in the future, Overture, give me some free filament. I don't want to keep spending $27 on Amazon for this stuff. I use way too much filament. A kilogram goes along. They say a kilogram goes a long way, but for me, a kilogram does not go far enough. All right. So this is everything that we have for the drone. We've got our 4 motors. We're going to be removing these red propellers and getting smaller blue ones. We have the entire base. I decided to keep the base from the old drone because it has all of my soldering on it for all the connections, so that's fine. We've got our LiPo battery, 2S. That should be totally fine. We have the controller, and we have our radio transceiver. Now, we'll be making this all for the Membo. This is a very crappy version that came out. I gotta sand it down, sand out some of the supports, but we're gonna be making it for Membo, so everything has to be blue and white. So we're gonna be making a blue and white frame, and we're going to kind of like stick the Membo on top so that it could be a flying drone that moves up and down with our buddy Membo here sticking on top. Which is why we have to remove these props, because we need to get blue and white ones instead to, keep up with how it looks. So that's going to be the goal. We're going to 3D print everything, and hopefully by the end of the video, we have a flying drone that is smaller, that is lighter, that is faster, and has a little Membo on top. Okay, so it took a few days, but I got all the parts basically 3D printed, and as you can see, I assembled one of the arms for it. This is the main base that we'll be screwing the arms on. I have 3 more arms here that need to have their supports removed, and I have the main base. This is where we will be applying each individual arm, and there's also spots for screwing in other material. This center location here is where we will screw in our controller, right in there, and then anywhere along the edges we can apply our 6-channel little radio receiver. It's all blue. I decided just to keep it all the same color, and it should be all set. We should be good to rock and roll. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to basically just attach them all to this build plate. Yeah, you can see it fine. Okay, I have these screws right here that I'm going to use, just the very small, easy ones. This thing's only about a point of an inch thick, 1/10 of an inch thick, so these screws should be able to fit through. If not, I can grab longer ones. All right, look at that. That's one down. It's already looking like a drone. Kinda, a little bit, not really. Next one. All right. we have a drone frame. Look at that. It looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I really do enjoy the way this frame looks, and it is much smaller than our original frame. If you look, it is much smaller, which means it's lighter, which means it's better. Alright, now it's time for us to get all the props situated with all the propellers, and we'll get them on to every individual section. I don't want to actually do that, so I'm going to go ahead and just, ta-da! We have a drone with stuff on it. Look at that, look how beautiful it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just attach this thing to it and get all the material wired up. So I'm going to attach this guy, and then we can go ahead and start the process of getting our little baby boy flying in the air. Well, baby, isn't this a lovely drone? Look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's beautiful. I still gotta apply the plugs. Only problem is I don't know which channel you're supposed to go in. I mean, whatever. I can just figure it out. I know from past experience of putting this together that these three go into not the first channel, and this one goes into the first channel because it has all three wires. And that's it. I have no idea where the rest go into. Great. Now I have to figure it out. Okay, so I have everything wired up, and I took off the tops, I took off the propellers because I want to make sure that this thing can like run safely. So I believe once I apply the battery pack, everything should work. I don't think this will go to anything in particular, and I think I can easily just slide the battery pack in under here. Yeah, just like that. And now it's good. I'll have to find a way to connect the battery pack and keep it there indefinitely. But until then, it looks fine to me. Alright, it's on. It's making beep noises. That's all I like to see. Alright. Nothing's happening. That's not good.
So, because we have a CC3D board for our really horrible drone that we're going to be making, I have to use Library Pilot instead of Betaflight. I could download the Betaflight firmware and then just run it on Betaflight, but I'm never going to be using a CC3D board ever again, so I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm not going to do any of that. We'll just use the Library Pilot for now and then never do it again. Let's see if this thing actually functions. This is one of the old boards that I used to have, so we're just gonna make it work. It'll work out well. It'll work out well. All right, I have everything now set up. This took a while, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of a rundown on everything that I did. So this is the board that we have. We have a white CC3D, but this just has to be black. We do not have anything hooked up to this main port, but we have it on telemetry. Our flexi port is disabled because we have no reason. We have no reason for this USB BCP port or this USB HID port, even though, of course, we have that set to telemetry as well. The flexi port and the VCE port, I believe that these will allow us to function with GPS. The GPS protocol isn't on, and I have this set to whatever because we don't have a GPS at the moment. And these boards will also allow us to be able to record flight data from this flight data area. We have the GPS located here, and with this, we would be able to fly it without the need of having a controller. Of course, we don't have any of that stuff yet, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit. In the vehicle, our copter is a plus copter. It's not a regular X copter. So we keep it on the plus, and I have all of this set up taken care of. I have these reversed. So as you can see, Down here, you might not be able to read it, but I have the reverse all motors on. Here, I manually calibrated everything. There's nothing really to look at, but everything was just, I basically just started the menu calibration and then just made everything function the way it was supposed to. The outputs, I made the outputs function properly as well. So all these outputs are exactly where they're supposed to be. One of the motors, motor number 2, it seems that it turns on at a much lower rate than the other 3. I'm not sure as to why. But it'll probably function out well in our testing. So we'll see what happens. And that's basically what I did. It was extremely boring and it took a lot of time and effort to actually do because I kind of forgot how to do the majority of it. So forgive me for not recording the process of setting it up. You wouldn't really have enjoyed it anyway. Yeah, it's time to start our testing phase. Let's see if this thing actually flies right.
Okay. This took me like an hour. Actually, it took me like 3 hours to get working. I have everything on right. I hope. Come on, turn on. There you go. Link it up. Gotta link it. Link. Yeah, we're good. Okay, we're good. For some reason, this one doesn't stop the same way. It like kind of continues to spin. So we're gonna see if it rolls or if it works. Okay, it worked. One more, and then we're gonna put the Membo on. Okay, one more. This time I want to actually get it into the air. Oh, it gets in the air all right. This battery's on like 20%. All right, now to get the Membo on. Ooh. All right, flight of the Membo. I still haven't reversed the controls, so I'm gonna have to do that soon. Oh, that is steady. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's very nice. And again. Ooh, baby. Oh, baby, I made a quality drone. Ooh, baby, that's a nice one. It can go higher, but I'm not doing that inside. I don't want this to bash my ceiling. Okay. Well, and that's the end of this little build. This took me a couple days. Mainly because I have college, but still. 100 subscriber special. That's what this was for. And for our buddy Membo. Check out his channel. He's a great guy. In the near future, I'm going to be changing up the controls of this so that we can have it fly higher, we can have it fly faster, we can have it fly better. I'm going to also be adding a GPS locator into this, and we're going to see if we can wirelessly fly this puppy all around the area, have some good automation rocking and rolling, and see if we can control it directly from the computer. It's going to be very nice in the future, but of course, you're going to have to wait for the 500 subscriber special for that. Make sure to leave a like down below and check out Membo's channel in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.